Have you ever said, I need this, but then in a similar situation said, I want this? What's the difference between having a want and a need? And is there such a thing as a need? The answer is yes. With human beings, that's you, me, and everyone else, there are 6 essential needs we all have. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today with today's Mindset Mastery podcast segment of the Fit Pharmacist Healthcare Podcast. I'm joined today again with my co-host, Alex Liu, who will be leading the discussion, going through each of these 6 needs that we have, how they apply to your life, and how it affects the decisions we all make in conducting ourselves with how we live and what we're looking to do.
Like you said, Adam, so the 6 human needs, once we know what the 6 are, we can gain a certain awareness of, which one is my top priority right now, and which one is my second. And also, by interacting with other people, we're kind of trying to find out what their needs are, and then building a relationship, enhance the relationship. You can feel their needs once you know what them are.
Exactly.
Instead of just guessing and then you think they want this, but instead why they are not happy, with friends or family or spouse, why they're not happy, because we're not feeling their needs. So this is a really interesting episode. Not only we can learn about our needs and gain our awareness, we can also learn about other people's needs and wants.
Absolutely, and I think you hit it right on the head. It comes to awareness. So first, knowing what the 6 needs are, but he also touched on a really important point, that there are 6 human needs that we all have. They're all the same. However, what differs, what changes someone, their identity, their actions, what dictates what they do first, is the priority that they place on those 6 needs. So while there are the same 6 for every single person, the priority or listing of importance of each of those differ from person to person. And that is what dictates how we interact, what we do, and also what he touched on, a third important point, is how to communicate effectively by addressing the other person's needs as they are prioritized by them.
Exactly, Adam. So I guess ready to go through the 6 human needs?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So the first one is the need for certainty.
Oh, this is me. Absolutely. I gotta know. I'm type A. My name even starts with A. Like, I have to know.
So Adam, what for a main need of certainty? What does that certainty? So what does that mean?
So certainty, it means what's going to happen. So how this can manifest, if this is one of your top needs, would be if you're very structured, if you have a schedule, if you like to do things in a similar manner. So for me, this is my number one need, certainty as a person. So I like to have a schedule, a structure. So for days that I work at Club Pharmacy, I have a structure of what I do, what my roles, responsibilities are, when I'm going to fit my workout in. If I work in the morning, is it going to be in the evening? If I work in the evening, is it going to be in the morning? How I set things up. Because I cram a lot in my day. I work full time. I also run a business full time, and I also do fun things like this with my friends. So having that structure, that certainty of when things are going to fit, gives me that clarity so that I can know that it's going to fall in control and allow me to do this or that, and just kind of know how things are going to play out.
So as a person that values certainty, what do you hate the most?
What I hate the most is too much. So that's something that I learned years ago, is being too certain, having too much structure leads to an actual psychological phenomenon known as black and white thinking, which really affects people in the diet and nutrition space, which is where I specialize. So when you're trying to perform a goal or achieve a goal, an outcome that you're looking to do, having that it's this way or that way approach can be really detrimental to achieving what you're setting out to do. And this is something that I struggled with for years because there's so much structure. If it didn't play out that way, looking at happiness, it actually led to unhappiness, because the only real reason for being unhappy is when your expectations are not met. If you simplify unhappiness to its basic level, that's what it is. It's when your expectations aren't met. That's the root of unhappiness. So if you have such structure and need certainty to such a high degree. You have expectations of this happening in this order, in this
True.
way, just being really regimented. If that doesn't happen, because life, things happen that aren't expected, that's going to lead to unhappiness, and that's a really terrible way to live to that degree. So it's not bad, but having an awareness of that and seeing the implications it can have, positive and minus, can help you keep that in perspective with the other needs. The first one we talked on, certainty, but God had a sense of humor, so the second need is...
It is uncertainty.
So wait, we have certainty and uncertainty?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So I am the person. I value uncertainty more than certainty.
Whoa.
So
Spontaneous.
yeah, being spontaneous and being flexible, and so uncertainty likes adventures. So I have like one of my aunt. So she's like such a pure uncertainty person. So when she was young, she would have a map in front of her. Right, she loves to travel, and she would close her eyes and pick a place she want to go. And then once her fingers set on that place, she'll go there, travel there.
That's my sister.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So uncertainty is like, they love adventures, right? I love adventures. And just like kind of like in the opposite of uncertainty, opposite of certainty, like uncertainty, people don't know what they want to do next. They want to be spontaneous in the moment and being like, enjoying life as right now as what it is. And
Yes.
there's also a drawback if the uncertainty is too much, because we can't live life without any planning. And I was just talking about this guy, Eckhart Tolle,
Yes.
and he's talking about have a plan is good, but try not to live like lost in the plan and then just lost in the future. As we mentioned earlier, expectations. If you lost the drawing the expectations, that of course leads to unhappiness.
Yes.
So it is a really, really important to know which one is you value the most and how to balance that.
Yes. Balance is such a key. So they seem to be opposing forces, but we all have them. So it's not one or the other. It's not black and white. It's a balance, but the proportion of each, that differs between person and person. An example would be watching a movie, okay? Renting a movie. So let's say Redbox or Netflix. All of us have done this. You've seen a title that you wanted to watch, so like a movie title that you wanted to watch but you've never seen before. So that's adventurous. That's uncertain because you don't know what's going to happen. You haven't seen it. We all have had that interaction of watching a movie we haven't seen. On the same token, though, how many times have you watched the same movie, right? You've already seen it. You know what's going to happen, but you enjoy it. You want to see it. Every Christmas, let's say, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, okay? So that's something that you've seen over and over and over again, how many times, but you still want it. You know what's going to happen. You have that sense of certainty, but you want to explore it. So two sides of the same coin, we both do them, but it's just the proportion of which that determines the priority of which of those two needs are.
Yes. I really like that analogy. I'm probably going to use this somewhere else.
I just pulled that out.
Yeah, that's really cool. So coming to so this is a two opposite, right? And then the next pair is also very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one, the third primal human needs is the need for significance. And it is very interesting because Dale Carnegie also read in his book that this is actually like in his philosophy is really like the value for like being important, right? As Tony Robbins said, being significant. So these two are really similar. Just it's about me, right? It's about our ego. It's about like, look at me. I'm cool. I'm good. I'm great. Yeah, I'm great. Yeah, you're right. Look at me. Look at us. And actually, like that, like a long time ago, this is my number one, like need. And then I was wondering why I'm not happy all the time.
No one knows my name.
Yeah. And it really clicked me when I went to a Tony Robbins seminar, and he said, if you put significance in your number one need, you won't be happy. Just that, because it's not about us all the time, right? Yes. We gotta give. We gotta we're not always on the spotlight. And if we are, and we have that huge ego, well, people will respond to that really negatively. because we are connected. We're all in this together,
Yes.
and thus leads to the next human need, which is
Connection.
And I look at your note, and I saw that you want to work on connection a lot. Can you explain why?
Yeah, so the community of the Fit Pharmacist has been such a value for me. Meeting other people that have so much to offer, and also on the same token have so much to learn and want to. So that's just why connection is so important. Through the Fit Pharmacist, through the connections that I've built, that's probably like the number one reason why I love my business and doing what I do. Is it's meeting like-minded people, but that doesn't mean they're all the same. They kind of have different perspectives. So I've got people that I've met through the business who are, light years ahead of where I am and where I want to be. So I have things to learn from them. Okay. At the same time, I have people that have thought about fitness, not just physical fitness, but mental fitness, what we're talking about here with mindset or nutrition. They've thought about it, but they haven't started yet. They don't know where to start, but they're looking for a mentor or a guide to get them there. Then you've got other people that are, about where I am with where I'm at. So we have that connection to learn from people that are higher, people that are starting, and we can serve as a guide, and then people that we have camaraderie with, who are on our level and we can resonate with because they're right where we are. So all those levels of connection are really awesome because they fill a lot of needs. You get to teach someone so you feel significant. You get to learn from someone so you have a guide, but then you have camaraderie and connection with those people there. And it just keeps growing, and there's not an importance on any of those three levels. But that's what's so great about the community is it's not just me with those perspectives, but other people. I see people in the Fit Pharmacist who are interacting with others, saying, "Oh, I understand your struggle. I had that too, like a year ago. Here's what I did to overcome it." Every Friday, I feature a pharmacist or pharmacy student on Fit Pharmacist Friday feature, who tells their story of whether it was overcoming an eating disorder, or self-image, or just self-love, and how they overcame that, their journey. Some of them are still in that process. So sharing that allows other people to see, allows them to learn from it, resonate with, or help and reach out and teach them. And just seeing that interaction, that camaraderie is really special. So that whole community aspect is really what drives me to do what I do. So that level of connection is important. Getting back to the root question.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because significance is about me, it's about I. And then like the connection is about you. As you said earlier, it's about community. It's about how we can empathize with each other, how we can connect with each other on a deeper level by sharing our vulnerabilities, by sharing our struggles, and that we form such a stronger bond. It's like almost it's unbreakable.
Yes.
Right, and that's it's a really beautiful experience to have. And we talk about, because I remember when I go to the seminar and Tony Robbins said, the need for love and connection is such a strong human need, because he used the example of like when the horse is born, when the other animals are born, they don't need their parents to love them. They're the horse mom to love them. They can run already. But for us human, if the baby is not loved when they're just born, like maybe we have nurse audience and listening, like baby will literally die without love. And that's how important for us, love and connection for our human. That means surviving. It's survival.
Yes.
And this is like why, like we saying this, the first four is primal human needs. So this is like we have to have this as a human. So need for certainty, need for a set of schedule, a planning of some vision, and stability. And then uncertainty, it's exploration, it's variety, trying new different things, and just being spontaneous, being flexible, and then when it goes to significance, we need attention from other people. We need to be seen, the urge to be seen, the need to be seen, and the need to feel important in a group. And then we goes to connection, the feeling of this is not only me, and then it's about you, about us, and the feeling of the connection and feeling of love and connection. And then we can go to the other two, which is more of the spiritual side and it's more of the goes to the fulfillment side of the things.
Mm.
So the fifth one, Adam, what is it? The fifth?
Growth, which is what we talk about here is having a growth mindset. So mindset mastery, always looking to improve and grow. If you guys would like a great book recommendation, because that's actually what brought Alex and I together, is talking about books.
Yeah.
It's by a research Carol Dweck. It's called Mindset, appropriate for this podcast. But she talks about the two mindset options that you have: the growth mindset or the fixed mindset. So you can look at those as the fixed mindset, the belief that, I was born this way, this is how I am, this is who I am, I can't change it. I'll just deal with what I have. Like, I can't, go up or down. Like, this is how things are. That's a fixed mindset. The growth mindset is, this is the hand I was dealt, but if I don't like it, I can change it. I might have to work harder than other people. It might take longer. It might be painful, but I can do it. That's the growth mindset. I can achieve whatever I set out to. And that's this need, is the need for growth, the need to improve yourself and to aspire to be that 1% better each day that I talk about all the time.
And why is that like such an important human need to have?
Because if you're not growing, you're dying. If literally, that is exactly what it is.
Yes.
If you're not growing, you're dying, and you feel that way. I actually came into this feeling not too long ago, where I was not growing, or I didn't feel like I was growing, and I started wondering, like, why am I feeling like depressed and sad and just low feelings? And it's because I didn't put as much time into growing and learning, and that is what happened. So then I just changed, and now I focus on growing my skill set and my relationships with other people, and connection, and the value I bring to them, and that helps me feel alive.
Process equals to happiness.
Yes.
Amen.
So that's the fifth one, is growth.
Yeah, growth.
That leads us to our last need, the sixth need, which is?
It is called contribution. This one gives me goosebumps when I even saying it, because it is such a powerful human need. And, talking about like mother, right? They will do everything for their children. And, needs to contribute to something bigger than us. And, if you are fighting for yourself, and then versus if you are fighting for, let's say, the community, if you are doing the things, taking action for your country, for humanity, it just, you have the different like sense of power, like
sense
strength,
of
purpose. And the bigger it is, the more powerful you're gonna get. Because if you're just fighting for yourself, there's gonna be a time you don't feel like waking up every day. There's gonna be a time you feel, it's just there's no point if it's doing this 9 to 5 thing and just doing to fill my need. And what about other people?
I think the best example for that is parenting. So let's say you're a mom or a dad, you've got some kids. Let's say you're just a single guy, okay? And you go to work and you make money, and you're like, oh, just going through the motions. I have to eat to survive, I might as well make money. You don't think much of it. But if there are people depending on your income, you have kids, you have a wife, maybe she's not working, or something's going on, you're not just making money or working for you. You have people depending on you. You're contributing to your family so that they can eat, so they can go to college, so they can go and have clothes, so they can go and have experiences with their friends. So contributing, I think, really comes down to parenting as the archetype example or embodiment of that sixth need.
Yeah, like sometimes, like, do you feel, or your audience listening, like, do you guys feel like sometimes that you are willing to do so much more for other people than you are for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, as a pharmacist, the things that you guys do in Club Pharmacy are probably blow your mind, because you're doing it for other people. You're doing it for your patients, for your techs, maybe if you're a coworker, for your pharmacy. But would you do those same things if it was just you? You took your techs out of the picture, you took your patients out of the picture. No, you wouldn't. Like, it wouldn't happen. But if you look back on the day of craziness, especially if it was like a Monday, you're running around, you got your 10,000 steps without even going to the gym because you were just hustling all day, doing 30 things at once, doctor calls, drive-through, drop-off, counseling, trying to calm down the person yelling at you, pick up all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you're doing it for other people. You're doing it for the patients. You're doing it for your techs to keep your team together. You're leading by example. All of those things contributing to the pharmacy to keep it going. As pharmacists, we're leaders to really set the stage and to lead our team through that whole endeavor. So that's really the contribution in action there.
It's really beautiful. Hats off for you guys. It's
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
There's significance. And certainty, because you're a pharmacist. Uncertainty, because pharmacy changes all the time and you never know what story is going to come in. Connection, because you're trying to get that relationship with patients. Growth, because there's a new drug that comes out every hour, a new one that gets recalled all the time. So there's always learning. There's always things to learn from, not just in pharmacy, but other healthcare professions that you interact with. And then there's the contribution factor that we just touched on. So all those needs for me are met through being a pharmacist, which is why one reason I'm so passionate about it. All my needs are met from that. So that's one reason why I'm just all about it.
Yeah. And then you talk about growth too. Like how beautiful is that? Like you want to get better yourself and you want to share what you learn with other people.
Yeah, that's where this podcast came from. Because I was like, oh, this is great knowledge. Like I feel like I'm growing and I think other people could benefit from it. So I like to talk. I mean, at work, I gum flap for 13 hours and give my techs migraines. I might as well, provide value. It's something I do anyway.
So let me ask you this, Adam. Do you feel like you have lots of energy when you're doing like podcasts, when you are serving, when you're working in the pharmacy?
Oh no, I'm very low energy.
Really?
No, I'm high all people always ask me like, what do I take? What am I on? What's my deal? All the time. Like this is me.
I actually asked them that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is me. It's just very high energy because I'm doing what I love. It fulfills my needs. It juices me. It gets me fired up because I know that I'm meeting all these needs. I know that I'm helping other people. My biggest need is connection with other people, and that's through helping them achieve their need and be the best version of themselves, which is where the Fit Pharmacist business came from, is seeing that potential for all of us in the profession to bring our best selves so that we can deliver it to our patients. And that impact can really just extend beyond what our own limits are.
Wow.
So that whole premise is why I do what I do and why I get so fired up all the time. I swear I don't do cocaine or snort coffee all day. This is just me. That's it. It's just I do what I love, and it's just a real big enjoyment.
So guys, if you're listening, like Adam brought up a really good point, and I want everyone to really give more thought on this. So if you feel like maybe you are very fit yourself, you are healthy, have a healthy body, and you just feel like sometimes you don't have that drive, right? And besides you need to find something fighting for yourself, and then on top of that, try to find someone else to fight for, right? Maybe it's for your community, maybe it's just for family, right? Maybe it's your kids or your loved ones.
Yeah.
And then once you find that person to fight for, you'll find yourself, you have unlimited power. Like you are unstoppable. That's just like how we are wired. And this is the one thing like makes us humans special, because we, like we mentioned earlier, a lot of times we'll do so much more than for other people than we do to ourselves.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. That's why, because I work full time, but before I go to work, I get up. So my friend and colleague Richard Waith has this work style called 10 to 2, hashtag 10 to 2, where he would work in the pharmacy and he would get home, and he changed his lifestyle from just watching Netflix and chilling to doing his passion project from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Now, for me, as a bodybuilder, I need a lot of sleep for my body to recover, and that's just how I found how I function best is with sleep from like 11 to 5. So what I do is I work 5 to 7, so I get up 2 hours before I need to leave for work. I work on my passion project before, and then when I get home from work, I put another 2 hours in. So that's my 4 hours of passion project time. But I wouldn't do that if it wasn't for the benefit of other people, if I didn't have that driving force to help other people get better. And that's why and how I come up with like articles, podcasts, videos, all that stuff. And it's all value for problems that I faced or I see other people facing that is getting in the way of fulfilling their full potential. Be that, how to eat healthy on a budget, or how to fit in fitness when you're working crazy hours, or how to avoid common mistakes in pharmacy if you're a new pharmacist, you just graduated school. Things that I see keep coming up that are problems or obstacles, and I give these simple solutions so that you don't have to go through the crap that I went through to see the solution. That's why I do it, because I see the value, I see it can help people. I have the potential, and I feel the responsibility to do it. And I use that voice to share it. So that's why that passion is there. Just as you said, it's a sense of contribution to help others. And it's more than me. It's not about me at all. It's about helping others. So for that reason, that's why I find or have the energy to do this and that, and put in the time. But it really comes down to, why. So why are you doing what you're doing?
Yeah.
Or if you say you want to do one thing, but you don't follow through with it, really come back to why. Like, what's the intention there? And you really have to be honest with yourself. You might say one thing, but what's the real underlying reason behind that? And having that clarity will give you the power to follow through to the end to see that through.
That's right. And this is like, okay, so we talk about our 6 human needs, right? And then we talk about the order. And let's do a little bit of fun exercise.
Okay.
And for people that are listening, right?
I like exercise.
Yeah, I do like exercise. And so if you're listening, maybe you have a notebook with you. Maybe you are driving. It's okay. If you're driving, just do it on your mind. So we talk about the 6 human needs: certainty, uncertainty, significance, connection, and then growth and contribution. So which one you currently value the most?
Which of those just jump out at you and you say, that's me?
Yeah. And then, so the question is, so what are the consequences of valuing those principles? Adam, can you give like an example? So you number one and then
yeah, so for me, when I first heard these 6 human needs, I immediately said, oh, certainty. No, it's very certain to me that's it. So there's consequences like I talked about. So there's positives and minuses to having each one as a priority. The first is you have that clarity, so you have a plan. So when you want to achieve a goal, it's very advantageous to set out a plan of action to get there. That's certainty. You know the steps in order to get to where you want to go. That's a plus. The minus is if you put too much emphasis on that, it's going to make you so rigid that you can't function as a human being, because life happens and things come up unexpected. And if, again, we said the root of unhappiness is when your expectations aren't met. So if you have that expectation of having, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, this color, that color, it's going to create unhappiness and you're going to feel out of control and it's just going to be chaos.
Yeah. That's a perfect example. So a lot of times, all those needs are like really like good if we use the in extent, and then just by realizing that like how by doing like too much of certainty it can be bad. And then so in this exercise, so people like if you're listening, try to think of like the one of your most valuable human need and what's the consequence for that. And so once maybe you can pause and take a notes, and then next one is, so what do your top 2 needs need to be now in order for your life to transform?
So you might have heard these and you thought, this is where they've been, just looking at how you conduct your life, actions that you've taken and what you've prioritized. But let's look at where you want to go. So if right now you're not 100% satisfied and happy, content with where you are, let's say you have aspirations to make changes in your life for places you want to be, things you want to do, people you want to meet, names you want to take, all those things. Those changes are going to come about by shifting the priority of your needs. So what things have to change priority-wise in order for you to reach your goal? So let's say that you want to have a huge impact. You want what you're doing, your life purpose that you feel, you want to really reach a lot of people. But right now, looking at how you conduct yourself, you see that significance is your top priority. That's not really going to help people if you want the attention all the time. Me, look at me, look what I did, all these awards, blah, blah, blah. What you should do is look at, how can I change the priority so that connection and contribution are top of my list. Because if you want to make an impact, it's all about serving others, right? So if it's all about you, how's that going to happen? So that's just one example of shifting. So you'll want to make connections, so you want to relate with people, because when you relate with them, they'll trust you and listen to you, and that will lead to impact. Contribution, value, how can you help these people you're looking to impact? How can you improve their life, their situation, make things easier for them? So contribution, that needs to be higher on your priority list. So just a couple shifts you can make if that's your goal. So it's really taking stock of where you are now based on, you know, how you're conducting your life. And if you're looking to make a change with a achievement or goal or career or whatever that is, looking at, you know, what's the outcome I want and what needs have to be met in order for that to happen. So the example I used was impact. If you want to impact others, you have to put them first. So connection and contribution would be should be at the top of your priority list.
Yep. So you can pause the audio now, or if you already got an answer, that would be awesome. So the next activity, the final one, is to visualize that.
Yes.
So think about if you, for like your example, if you are shifting from significance to contribution, how would that transform your life? And what's the outcome of you doing that?
Interesting. So if I was prioritizing significance ahead of contribution, but going back to my example, I wanted my goal to be impact, I would shift that to contribution before significance. So giving the spotlight to other people rather than myself. So I am a servant to others, helping them, guiding them along the way. So I want that spotlight to be on the person I'm serving.
Right.
So I want them to be in the glory and getting all the recognition, whereas I'm just helping them along the way. I give them the tools. They're the ones that put the work in. They're the ones that take the actions to get them to the result. But I'm just helping them. I'm not the one that did it. I didn't do this for you. I didn't give you this outcome. So having that shift in perspective and putting the need of contribution, of connecting with their goal ahead of your own significance, being selfless and being a guide more as a celebrity, I guess you could say. That's one way to make that happen.
It's true, and actually, this example, like that's actually what I wrote when I attended the seminar. Is like I mentioned earlier, significance is actually it was on my top list. It's like number one, and when I wrote down I wrote down contribution and connection, and I've been focusing on that lately, and just see so much change. Because once I shift the focus from me, and wondering why I'm not happy all the time, because I have so much expectations of the attention I get from people, and then change that to you. How can I serve you? How can we make connections? How can we connect with each other? And once I shift that mind, not only makes me happier, it does make me connect with people really well. Because when I'm talking with people, I'm talking about myself all the time. I'm asking them questions. I'm curious to find out about them. And once just like that simple activity I did from the seminar, and it really changed the quality of my life. So I encourage everyone listening that just think about what was your human needs, or right now what you're wanting the most, and then what's the consequence for that, and then try to think of something, change that to something that will benefit your future, would benefit your now. So this is the fun activity.
I think it's great. It's really good to, we talk a lot. It's good to hear these things, but to really pause and analyze and take stock of where you are and where you want to go, and just put with the knowledge nuggets that we've dropped here, I guess you could say, and really see like, how do these fit my life? How can these help me? Taking a step back and just thinking about where you are, where you're looking to go, that can really be an asset to your journey, which is why we're doing this, is to give you those tools to help you along the way. We don't do anything. It's all the action that you take. So it's really just using those and seeing how can these things be applied and put into action. Because action is what's really going to make the difference in the outcome.
Yes.
Awesome. Any final thoughts on the 6 needs?
That's it for me.
Okay. Well, it's okay to be needy because we all have 6 of them. So I hope you guys found value in this. it really is an amazing concept. When I first heard it, it really shifted my outlook, not only on my own life, but on people in my life. It helps you to understand why they do things. In a previous episode, we talked about pain and pleasure, but also like what people do in order of importance. So like someone that always works out all the time versus someone that skips workouts very frequently, there's a difference in priority there. They all work out, but some people might not even. So it really helps to paint the picture of why people do things in the order that they do, understanding that we all have the same needs, but how we prioritize them. That really determines the outcome of our life, how we live it, and where we're looking to go. If you want to go in a different direction, just looking at what changes you need to make in your priority of the needs we all have. So that's it for today's segment of the Mindset Mastery podcast of the Fit Pharmacist Healthcare Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to live your best life and dispense your full potential.